So Mel, why should people care about homeopathy enough to really engage it?
You know, some years ago when I was studying, I came across a book by Dana Ullman called Homeopathy, the Medicine for the 21st Century. And back then I was like, that seems a long way away. But it was a really good book. And coming now into the 21st century, people should care because this is the most important modality in holistic healthcare practice, in my opinion. Because it takes into account not only the physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, but it embraces the whole quantum energetics, the quantum realm that we are stepping into in this day and age. So I couldn't see it back then, but now that we're here and with all the massive changes that are happening since the COVID pandemic and other massive changes that are happening around the world in the systems that have been formed and established for so long, there's a whole paradigm shift for everyone, whether we like it or not. And homeopathy, for me, just falls right into that. Supports it, is moving with it. Like there are no questions, for me, there are no questions about it anymore.
Mm-hmm. So many people may be saying, so what is homeopathy anyway?
Right. So I guess on a practical level, going back to your original question, why should they care? Because they can be certain that homeopathy will help them in a very safe way, free of side effects, not addictive, not that you have to be on things for the rest of your life. So it's a different way of taking care of their health. With not only the ability to help with their physical health and their pain, say they have a pain in their leg or a pain in their head or whatever it is, not only that, but coming into the understanding why they have the pain will teach them something about themselves. So it's looking beyond just, I have a physical symptom and I want rid of it. It's understanding why they have that symptom. What caused them to have that, what in their life led them to that point where they have chronic headaches. Not just what they're eating, but what energetic patterns have been established so that their body is expressing in that way. If that makes sense.
Right. And so, first of all, today we're here with Mel Dupres, a homeopath. She's also a yoga instructor. Mel will be at the Living Green Expo, which is taking place on January 28th, Sunday, January 28th in Dockyard at the Shed. She's also someone who's been volunteering to assist with the organization of the event, something that we very much appreciate. And so her skills and contributions fall in the holistic health realm. And now holistic health has become far more common today, but it's still something that's a bit on the horizon, I would say, for most. So when you bring up terms like homeopathy, some people may say, I think I've heard that before. Other people may say, what? Who? And now we've been having this conversation and you're talking about why people should care about it and things of that nature. You know what I mean? But how does this work? Because we appreciate that in holistic health, the approach tends to be a bit to differ from traditional, medical or Western medical practices.
Right.
and pharmacists and things of that nature. You know, what are the mechanisms of action around homeopathy? How does homeopathy work? And you know, what does that experience look like for somebody who engages a practitioner like you around homeopathic remedies?
Well, it can be used in so many different ways. You know, it can be used in acute situations. So if someone has a shock or some sort of trauma, they trip over and bruise themselves, homeopathy, arnica, can be used for that. So not taking into consideration what they had to eat or how much sleep they had or anything like that. It can be used in the moment for acute situations. But then it can be used in chronic situations. So, you know, looking at the whole story as to why the person has come to this diagnosis and using homeopathy in that way to help support them in using what we call a constitutional remedy or other remedies around what's going on for them. And the constitutional remedy being that which matches their constitution, you know, what the person's made up of. Then it can be used to detox. For instance, I use a lot of homeopathy to detox children that have had their childhood immunizations and have then subsequently been diagnosed or suffered from certain ailments. It can be used to uplift energies or balance chakras. You know, it's endless. It's endless because homeopathy isn't about material doses. It's about capturing the essence of the material dose. So for instance, onion can be used as a homeopathic remedy. Onion is literally diluted and succussed, diluted and energized into a homeopathic remedy, and it's named Allium cepa. It takes the Latin name, and that can be used for hay fever. What happens when you cut an onion? Your eyes stream, your nose runs, that kind of thing. So like cures like is the principle, the basic principle of homeopathy. So you're treating that which can cause a symptom, can cure it. In a nutshell. In a nutshell.
In a nutshell.
Yeah, there's a whole lot more to it. But
like equals like.
Like cures like.
Like cures like.
Yes.
In homeopathy.
Yes. Okay. Whereas in allopathy, or I'm going to say traditional, but I don't mean that because it's not traditional.
Right. I understand.
Natural medicine is traditional medicine.
Yes.
And then it branched off into what we know as conventional medicine, the popular medicine of the day. And that's changing. But the principle of what they do, allopathy, is the principle of opposites. So their medicines work in opposition to what the body's trying to do. Antibiotics, antidepressants, anti-inflammatories.
Yeah, I always question that. I'm like, why would I want to take an antibody? It doesn't sound helpful. You know, just the fact that it has anti in it, right. Antibody.
Yeah.
And then I'm putting that in my body.
Right.
So it's just, you know, it's always interesting. But again, I think what you just explained helps with that. So you're saying that allopathic medicine
is against what the body's doing?
Opposites.
Yes. And it's against. So anti, because you want to kill the inflammation. You want to stop the inflammation to stop the person having pain. You want to stop the infection, so kill the bacteria. So that the person against what the body's doing.
Okay.
And it's not out of malice. It's just the way that their medicines work.
Right. It's the approach.
Yes. Yeah.
And so let's go to this like cures like.
Uh-huh.
So how does that work? Meaning that, so if homeopathy is not going against, then is it supporting the symptom?
Exactly. So it's more supportive of what the body's doing. The body has symptoms for a reason.
Ah.
Right? It's showing you, it's telling you the story of what's going on. So if you have a headache, say, Why do you have a headache? Are you dehydrated? Do you have some sort of stress that is causing your nervous system to focus on, presenting in the head? What are the reasons that you might have this headache? So once you start to investigate that, you can find out what remedy or remedies would help with that particular expression of your body. So it's not just to stop the headache, stop the pain. It's, well, why do you have the pain? And let's introduce something that would actually cause that problem. And then that gives the body the message to overcome the problem. Does that make sense?
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing from you is that homeopathy is triggering the body's own natural response. So whereas allopathic medicines are actually doing the job of killing the bacteria or getting rid of the inflammation or things of that
Correct.
nature, homeopathy is giving signals to the body, and then the body is triggered to, engage its own natural
Right.
response.
It kicks into action.
It kicks into action.
Yeah.
So homeopathy is about kicking the body's natural functions into action?
Well, we don't like to kick.
Well,
we gently encourage.
We encourage.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So let me.
We need more feminine energy.
We have it.
We're like kicking everything, knocking stuff down. Yeah.
Hence the
Encourage.
hence the anti thing, right?
Oh.
Because that whole system was dominated by men
Man. Right.
forever. Prior to that were the female healers in community, indigenous communities, right? And then when the Western model came in, it was all just taken over and kill, kill, kill. But the thing that we have to remember is that when you do give that anti-medicine, the body is very wise. It says, okay, you want to kill? There's repercussions for that. We need to sort it out now. You're going to kill all the bacteria, or you're going to be left without the good bacteria as well as the bad bacteria. And now you're left with digestive problems, constipation, all sorts of things people experience. Not everybody is that sensitive to antibiotics, but it's become more common because we've overused them.
Side effects.
And that's what we call side effects.
Thank you. This is very interesting.
I don't think I've been given the platform to talk about it before in this way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So side effects.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So allopathic medicine is against the body's natural function
Right.
to address a symptom.
Yeah.
Homeopathy is triggering the body's natural response. And as a result, because you made a proclamation in the beginning about if you would like to get healing without any side effects or anything of that nature. So is there ever a situation of side effects with homeopathy?
No. There can be something what we call proving, where if you take too much of a remedy, your body will produce symptoms, but they're false symptoms. They're not actual, like long-lasting symptoms, right? And that's how we know what remedies do. So this is another part of the theory of homeopathy. And back in the old days, they would gather people that were deemed healthy. So people that had no issues, their health would be assessed at the beginning, a group of people, and they would be given remedies repeatedly, like lots in a day or over a few days, and they would start to express symptoms. And that's how we know what the remedies do. So it's almost like your double-blind controlled trial, but the other way. So it's not, this pill will help with urinary symptoms. We have a group of people with urinary symptoms. Let's give them this pill. Let's see what happens. we're like blank slate. We have healthy people. We're imposing something on them to show for their bodies to express what that remedy is doing. It's a little counterintuitive,
Right.
but that's the way homeopathy. We find out what it does, what the remedies do.
So how did you stumble upon this miracle?
It is magic,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's magic. How did I stumble across it? I don't know. I didn't really stumble across it. When I was studying in the UK, I had a family friend that told me about it. And I was like, wow, that sounds really interesting. But that was as far as it went. That sounded interesting. But then I came across a book written by an engineer, actually. He was an engineer turned homeopath. So it was from there was a lot of scientific perspective in it, and which I could relate to because I had done my A-levels in physics and chemistry and biology and what have you. But I just devoured this book. I couldn't put it down. And at the time I was meant to be studying for my university exams, but I was just engrossed in this book.
What were you studying in university?
Human science. Yeah. So I figured that was a happy medium for my parents, right? They wanted me to study allopathic medicine. I discovered the whole alternative scene. And I said, okay, well, I'll do this neat degree in human science, which was really good because it was about all things human, right? So it was a good foundation for my pursuit of this homeopathy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it actually worked with the homeopathy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Homeopathy enjoys working with things then. Sounds like a good friend.
It is a good friend. It is a good friend. And what the other thing that's really beautiful about it is that it's safe enough to be used at home. I always encourage my clients to have a kit, 36 kit with different remedies, a little instruction booklet. When their child gets sick in the middle of the night, which inevitably it happens at 2 a.m., right? They don't get sick on a Monday at 10 a.m. when you can call the doctor. They get sick in the middle of the night at the weekend. They have a tool to help themselves. And if they give the wrong remedy, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
It just does nothing.
It does nothing.
Yeah. But with more use and confidence and encouragement, people end up giving the right remedies and they get better at it. And, it's such a helpful tool. Yeah.
So what's been your experience with it, in Bermuda primarily? Like, what type of outcomes have you seen, or, do you struggle to get people, or is it something that it kind of proves itself? And
it's a mixed bag. So there are many people that will come once and don't come back for whatever reason. Perhaps they don't like the idea of delving into their life and understanding on a deep level why they're ill. Maybe they've come and they get better, so they don't need to come back. But then they don't necessarily let me know that either. But then there are the other people that they come and they're committed, and they treat their children and their animals, and they've taken it on, and they have their kit, and they're calling me because they want to study homeopathy. And, so it's a whole mix of where people are at with holistic medicine and homeopathy in particular.
right.
I just do my best.
Right.
I just do my best to be there. I've done things like free health fairs, to gathering groups of people and talking about it on a deeper level. And I just keep going with it.
Right.
Yeah, because I really have a passion for it. And I respect and value it.
Right.
So, and that's something that I want to share. And it's been like drip, drip over the years.
So it has been relatively slow, the uptake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So engage in it. Is it something that you can, are the remedies something you can administer spontaneously, or do the remedies come from like a deeper, more comprehensive analysis of, you know, the person's lifestyle,
Right,
and their kind of biological makeup, and you know what I mean? I guess their emotional and, you know, wellness and.
exactly. That's ideal, right? That's
Okay.
the ideal scenario. But my intention is at the expo to have a table where people can come and just have a quick chat. I'll have remedies there. And it may be that we can find a remedy in that moment, you know, where it can help them. That has happened before. Yeah. That's called intuitive prescribing. And with that female energy comes a whole bunch of intuition.
It comes with a lot of intuition. Yeah. So I've heard the terminology used, and you know, you can correct me if needed, that homeopathy deals with is like energetic medicine, somewhat. You know, why is that? Why is that term given to homeopathy?
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of people use homeopathy as an umbrella term in holistic medicine, but it is quite specific. So it's deemed energetic because of the way the remedy is prepared. So like I was talking about the onion, where that's made into what we call a mother tincture, like a herbal tincture. And from there, one drop is taken and put into a vial, and that's succussed, what we call succussed, which is energized. And then another drop of that is put into another vial and succussed. So it goes up in a series of dilution, repeated dilution and succussion. And from there, it's thought that the water holds the energy of the original substance, which is the onion. It goes far away from the material dose, more into the energetic realm.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
So that's why it's considered energetic.
Energetic medicine. Yeah.
And then, you know, we're also dealing with the vital force. We consider the vital force, or chi, prana, you know, and other systems are called different things. But if you're looking at somebody and you're reading their energy, you know, where is their energy stuck, or where is their energy compromised, so that their body is then expressing these symptoms? What happened? Was there a trauma? Was there, I don't know, some sort of, I mean, trauma is the word of the moment, right? Because it's not only emotional trauma, but you can have physical trauma. Like if you have a car accident, you know, and you've never been well since the car accident, well, you know, that trauma needs to be addressed. When you're looking at something like diabetes, that's a bigger picture. Like, why is it that the person doesn't necessarily feel a certain way about themselves, and that energy is stuck in their pancreas? You know, it's a lot to kind of talk about on this small interview, but because it's so wide, we're talking about the energetics of the human.
Right.
You know, and
Right.
yeah, it's a lot to unpack.
Right. We start talking about, you know, chi and prana and things of that nature, which kind of leads me into something else another modality you practice. You also teach yoga. So is that something that is kind of like separate and apart from the homeopathy, or do you find that it's all integrated in you, and so, you know, you kind of like work with them both in a complementary way? Like how is that for you?
Yeah, no, I do. So just quickly, some years ago, I was in India, and prior to that, I had practiced yoga, but sporadically. But while I was in the center in India, I was practicing every day. I was guided by someone practicing every day, and I realized how beneficial it was. And I was like, I need to learn how to do this so I can share with my clients. This was way back in, 2009. So then I went and did my teacher training after that, and have never looked back. I find that it does complement very much the homeopathy, and in fact, sometimes I will use homeopathic remedies before yoga practice. And for me personally, that gives me a different quality of my practice. But I've used it in groups as well, and it's interesting to marry the two. Yeah.
So you're going to be at the Living Green Expo.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, give thanks. Can you share with the audience, right, how you intend to participate and what, they can expect to see from you on the day?
Yeah, sure. How I see it is that I'll be giving some yoga demonstrations, and maybe little groups will come together and we just do something. And then I intend to have a table, like I say, with my remedies, and just have a chat with people. And I don't know if I'll be giving a presentation on a bigger scale of homeopathy.
Right.
So we'll see. But I'm looking forward to being part of that community.
Right.
And just kind of seeing all the faces and get the energy out and up, and just kind of realizing what is out there.
Right.
In the holistic community.
Well, give thanks. And I know you're also going to be teaching a yoga practice at 10 a.m.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
right
right.
at the beginning. When we do the mind-body activities. So Mel is very modest, and she's also very involved. So we're very thankful. But yes, there will be a yoga practice along with a Qigong practice at 10 a.m. At the same time, that we're also having a 5K walk and run and a 25K bike ride that's going to go from City Hall right into Dockyard. So this event is meant to provide an opportunity for the whole community to engage in natural living and sustainable living. So thank you very much, Mel. It's been a pleasure talking to you today. Really looking forward to you being at the expo, and hopefully you can have just as much as an impact on the people at the expo as you have on all your clients and all your students each and every day of the week. So
thank you, Eugene.
All right. And thank you everyone for watching. This has been a pleasure talking to Mel, and I look forward to the next episode. Give thanks. Peace and love.